First, I want to start by thanking God. I do feel a sense of relief today, and though it may seem strange, I feel like I've been holding my breath for 2.5 years and I can finally exhale. I'm ready to move forward, and I'm ready to accept my punishment so that I can get on with the next chapter of my life. I know that God is not finished with me yet. It's been a wild ride, but so much more of it has been good than bad. I just know that the next stage will be even better than the first. There's a saying that will be familiar to some, that which doesn't break you makes you stronger, and that God doesn't put any more on us than we can bear. Nothing rings more true for me today than that. I've been through it before, and I'll get through this, stronger and with my head held high. I don't want anyone worrying about me because, as the young folks often say, I'm good. I've been the beneficiary of a blessing for these past 2 years, a family and a community who loves me and showed me in every way possible, every day possible, that they have been there for me. With the ride, the hug, the wink, the box of groceries, the love offerings, and most of all, the prayers. Everywhere I went, Diane or Senator, I'm praying for you. My response was always the same. Well, keep praying, because it's working. For that, I will be eternally grateful. You gave me strength and pride when others walked away. Some actually ran. I would not have been able to survive without you, literally. Thank you for showing me your love and your forgiveness. I have truly learned what friendship really is, and I don't think I would ever be confused about that again. Now we have to get on with the task of refocusing on what is right and good for the community that I love sometimes too much. One of the most difficult things I had to contend with over the past 2 years was not being able to speak about what was happening. I knew that I had to keep my focus on making my case to Judge Woodlock today, and I couldn't make the mistake of trying to make a case to the press. It's not that I didn't want to talk to you all, I just knew that it was not going to be helpful for me to do that. It just wouldn't have worked. But I'm past that moment, and I respect the judge's decision, and we'll make our decision very shortly on what our next step will be. I will accept my punishment, but it doesn't change the fact that I knew from the beginning of the tactics utilized against Chuck Turner and I by local and federal law enforcement, purportedly to weed out corruption. What I would submit to you today is that the very effort by the local and federal law enforcement to accomplish their goal was in itself a most corrupt and outrageous abuse of the justice system. Chuck Turner and I are two very different people, and we did our jobs differently, and we had different styles. We even chose different strategies over the past 2 years to fight our battles. But I want everyone to be clear that Chuck Turner and I have always been about the same business, and that is serving the people of this community. Fighting every day to provide equality and justice to people for whom it was regularly denied. That can't be denied. We are both outspoken and unafraid to speak the truth. Some, in positions of power, were threatened by our effective advocacy, and as a result, we became a target. We'll both live with that reality for the rest of our lives. I want nothing that I say today to in any way be interpreted as an attempt to pull away or avoid my responsibility for my actions. I'm accepting those. I accepted them before the judge, and I'm still accepting them. And I'm ready to pay that price. But my acceptance can't negate the despicable actions of the government and its collaborators. The community has a right to know the full details, and in short time you will. Much has been said about the role of Ron Wilburn, but most of it doesn't even begin to tell the real story of his role. His partners in crime, some of whom included law enforcement, the major drug dealing operation in Roxbury, money laundering, and loan sharking, to just name some of the activities. Rest assured, he was a central player in a massive criminal enterprise. The very law enforcement officials standing before you today, chastising Chuck Turner and I, walked away from them pursuing and prosecuting that enterprise and traded their cooperation to target Chuck and I. To do so, the FBI enlisted the willing support and cooperation of well-respected clergy in our community. heads of major organizations in our community, and even planted an informant in my workplace and in my church. Soon enough, you'll have access to the documentation in the government's possession to bear out all that I say to you. The community must and will survive this. I hope that part of the necessary healing and rebuilding can begin in earnest. It will require major soul-searching and unselfish actions. There are too many important issues going on in our community to do anything less. Whatever happens, I hope to be a part of that rebuilding. I owe the community nothing less. I'm ready to move on, and I thank you. God bless.